Meditations Book 2, Clean Reading Script by Marcus Aurelius. Welcome. Today we continue our journey through Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. If you watched Book 1, you saw Marcus expressing gratitude, honoring the people who shaped his character. Book 1 was warm, reflective, appreciative. Book 2 is different. Book 2 was written in a war zone. Marcus is camped among the Quadi, a Germanic tribe on the frontier of the Roman Empire. He's surrounded by death, violence, uncertainty. And in this environment, his thoughts turn to mortality. Book 2 is about remembering you will die. It's about the shortness of life, the illusion of fame, the importance of doing your duty without complaint. It's about accepting that time is running out and asking yourself, am I living the way I should? The opening line of Book 2 has become one of the most famous passages in all of Stoic philosophy. It's about getting out of bed in the morning when you don't want to, about facing the day despite difficulty. Section 1: Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial. All these things happen to them by reason of their ignorance of what is good and evil. But I, who have seen the nature of the good, that it is beautiful, and of the bad, that it is ugly, and the nature of him who does wrong, that he is akin to me, not only of the same blood or seed, but that he participates in the same intelligence and the same portion of the divinity, I can neither be injured by any of them. For no one can fix on me what is ugly, nor can I be angry with my kinsman, nor hate him. For we are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth. To act against one another is contrary to nature, and it is acting against one another to be vexed and to turn away. This is one of the most powerful passages in all of Stoicism. Marcus is preparing himself for the day, and he's not naive. He knows what's coming. He will meet difficult people, busybodies, who interfere, ungrateful people who take without thanks, arrogant people who look down on others, deceitful liars, envious people who resent your success, unsocial people who refuse cooperation. Marcus is preparing himself for the day, and he's not naive. He knows what's coming. He will meet difficult people, busybodies, who interfere, ungrateful people who take without thanks, arrogant people who look down on others, deceitful liars, envious people who resent your success, unsocial people who refuse cooperation. But here's the key. Marcus says these people act this way because of ignorance. They don't know what's truly good and what's truly bad. They're confused. They think wealth, status, pleasure, these external things will make them happy. So they lie, cheat, manipulate to get them. They're not evil, they're mistaken. And because they're mistaken, Marcus says, I cannot be harmed by them. They can't make me ugly inside. They can't corrupt my character unless I let them. More than that, they're my kin, not just biologically but spiritually. We all share the same rational nature. We're all part of the same cosmic order. We, quote, remade for cooperation. Like two hands working together. Like upper and lower teeth chewing together. Like eyelids protecting the same eye. To work against each other is against nature. To be angry at them, to hate them, to turn away from them, that's working against nature. Imagine starting every morning with this mindset. Not with dread or anxiety, but with prepared acceptance. Yes, people will be annoying today. Yes, they'll be selfish and frustrating, but I'm ready. I understand why. And I won't let it destroy my peace. Imagine starting every morning with this mindset, not with dread or anxiety, but with prepared acceptance. Yes, people will be annoying today. Yes, they'll be selfish and frustrating, but I'm ready. I understand why, and I won't let it destroy my peace. This is practical stoicism. This is how you face the world without becoming bitter. Section 2, whatever this is that I am, it is a little flesh and breath. And the ruling part. Throw away your books. Be distracted no more. It is not allowed. But as if you are now dying, despise the flesh. It is blood and bones and a network, a texture of nerves, veins, and arteries. See the breath also. What kind of thing it is? Air. And not always the same, but every moment sent out and again sucked in. The third is the ruling part. Consider this. You are an old man. No longer let this be a slave. No longer be pulled by the strings like a puppet by selfish impulses. No longer be dissatisfied with your present lot or shrink from the future. Marcus breaks down what he is: body, breath, and mind. The body, just flesh, blood, bones. A biological machine. It will decay. The breath, just air moving in and out. Temporary. Borrowed from the atmosphere. But the ruling part, your mind, your reason, your will. That's what matters. And Marcus says to himself, you're old. Stop being a slave. Stop being controlled like a puppet by your desires and impulses. Stop being dissatisfied with now. Stop fearing the future. He, quote, S reminding himself that time is short, that he needs to take control of his mind before it's too late. This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. When you remember your mortality, trivial things lose their power. Section 3. All that is from the gods is full of providence. That which is from fortune is not separated from nature, or the interweaving and interlacing of things governed by providence. From there all things flow. Add to this necessity, and the welfare of the whole universe, of which you are a part. But that is good for every part of nature which the nature of the whole brings, and what serves to maintain this nature. Now the universe is preserved, as by the changes of the elements, so by the changes of things compounded of the elements. Let these principles be enough for you. Let them always be fixed opinions, but cast away the thirst after books, that you may not die murmuring, but cheerfully, truly, and from your heart thankful to the gods. Marcus presents two possibilities. Either the universe is governed by providence, by intelligence, by the gods, by rational order, in which case everything that happens is part of a larger plan, even if we don't understand it. Or it's just atoms or random particles colliding, no purpose, no meaning. But even if it's atoms, even if there's no divine plan, you're still part of a whole system. And what's good for the whole is what preserves it, maintains it, allows it to function. You are a tiny part of this vast universe. What happens to you is part of the process that keeps everything going. Marcus quote S. point. Either way, providence or chaos. Accept what comes. If it's providence, trust it. If it's atoms, it doesn't matter anyway. Don quote. Spend your life reading endless books, searching for perfect answers. You'll die before you find them. Instead, die cheerfully, die grateful. Die at peace. We can't control whether the universe has a plan. We can control whether we waste our lives worrying about it or simply live well and accept what comes. Section 4. Remember how long you have been putting this off, how many extensions the gods have granted you, and you have not used them. It is time now to perceive what universe you are a part of, and from what governor of that universe you exist as an emanation, and that a limit of time is fixed for you, which if you do not use for clearing away the clouds from your mind, it will go, and you will go, and it will never return. This hits. How long have you been putting off living the way you should? How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, I'll change next week. When things calm down, then I'll focus on what matters. The gods, or fate, or chance, have given you more time, more opportunities, more days, and you've wasted them. But there's a limit. Time will run out, and if you don't use the time you have left to clear away your confusion, your distractions, your bad habits, it will go. You will go, and it will never return. There are no extensions after death. No second chances. Now I'll get to it later. Marcus isn't trying to scare himself, or us. He's trying to wake himself up. How many of us live as if we have infinite time? As if there's always later to become who we want to be. There isn't. The time is now. Every hour, focus your mind attentively on the performance of the task in hand, with dignity, human sympathy, benevolence, and freedom, and leave aside all other thoughts. You will achieve this if you do each action as if it were your last, laying aside all carelessness and passionate aversion from the commands of reason, and all hypocrisy, self-love, and discontent with your portion. You see how few things you have to master in order to live. For the gods demand nothing more from him who observes these things. Here's the formula for a good life, according to Marcus. Focus on the task at hand. Right now, whatever you're doing, do it with dignity, with self-respect, with human sympathy, with kindness toward others, with benevolence, with goodwill, with freedom, not as a slave to your impulses. And here's the key. Do each action as if it were your last. What if this were the last thing you ever did? Would you do it carelessly? Would you complain about it? Would you half-ass it? No. You do it fully, completely. With presence. Marcus says, this is all you need. Just a few principles. Be present. Do your duty. Do it well. Don't complain. Be kind. That's it. That's the whole thing. The gods ask nothing more. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to achieve great things. You just need to do what's in front of you right now, as well as you can. How liberating is that? You don't have to conquer the world, you just have to wash the dishes with presence. Answer the email with care. Have the difficult conversation with honesty. One task at a time. As if it were your last. Section 6. Do wrong to yourself. Do wrong to yourself, my soul. But soon you will no longer have the opportunity to honor yourself. For every man has but one life. Yours is nearly finished, though you do not honor yourself, but instead place your happiness in the souls of others. This is Marcus being harsh with himself. You quote, redoing wrong to yourself. You're wasting your life. You're not living up to who you could be. And soon, it will be too late. Your life is almost over. You won't get another chance. And look at what you're doing. You're placing your happiness in what others think. In their opinions, their approval, their validation. Your happiness is in their souls, not your own. Stop it. Honor yourself. Live by your own standards. Don't give away your peace to other people's judgments. How much of our lives are spent seeking approval, checking likes, reading comments, wondering what people think of us? Marcus is saying, that's self-harm. That's doing wrong to yourself. Your happiness must come from within, from your own character, not from outside validation. Section 7. Does anything external to you distract you? Give yourself time to learn something new and good, and stop being whirled around. But then you must also avoid being carried about the other way. For those too are triflers who have wearied themselves in life by their activity, and yet have no goal to which they direct every impulse, every thought. 2 ways to waste your life. First, being constantly distracted by external things, by noise, drama, entertainment, other people's problems. Second, being endlessly busy without purpose, running around checking boxes, being productive but never asking. Productive toward what? Marcus says, stop spinning, learn something that matters, and direct everything, every action, every thought, toward a goal. Not just any goal. A goal worth having, living virtuously, being a good person, fulfilling your duty. Busyness without purpose is just another form of distraction. It makes you feel important while accomplishing nothing that matters. Section 8. One who does not observe what is in the mind of his fellow may still be unhappy. But those who do not observe the movements of their own minds must of necessity be unhappy. You can be unhappy because you don't understand others. That's one problem. But if you don't understand yourself, if you don't watch your own thoughts, your own judgments, your own reactions, you must be unhappy. Because happiness and unhappiness don't come from external events. They come from how you interpret those events. If you're not watching your mind, you're not in control of your interpretations. You're just reacting automatically. This is the core Stoic practice. Pay attention to your thoughts, not what's happening to you, but what you're thinking about what's happening to you. That's where your freedom lies. Section 9. This you must always bear in mind. What is the nature of the whole, and what is my nature, and how this is related to that, and what kind of a part it is of what kind of a whole, and that there is no one who hinders you from always doing and saying the things which are according to the nature of which you are a part. 3 questions to always remember. 1. What is the nature of the universe? Everything is connected. Everything changes. Everything follows rational order or random chance. But either way, it follows nature. 2. What is my nature? You're a rational, social being. You're made for thinking and cooperating. 3. How am I related to the whole? You're a tiny part of a vast system. What you do affects the whole, and the whole affects you. And here's the freedom. No one can stop you from living according to your nature. They can imprison you, insult you, take your possessions, even kill you. But they cannot make you think wrongly, act viciously, or betray your principles. That's always your choice. External circumstances don't control your character. Only you do. Section 10. Socrates used to call the opinions of the many bogeymen, things to frighten children. Socrates, the great philosopher, said that popular opinion is just a scary story we tell ourselves. What will people think? What if they don't like me? What if they judge me? These are bogeymen? Imaginary monsters, things that seem terrifying but have no real power. The crowd's opinion changes constantly. Today they love you, tomorrow they hate you. Next week they forget you existed. Building your life around that is like building a house on quicksand. What the crowd thinks doesn't matter. What's true matters. What's virtuous matters. What you can control? Your character. That matters. Everything else? Bogeymen. Section 11. The Pythagoreans bid us in the morning look to the heavens, that we may be reminded of those bodies which continually do the same things, and in the same manner perform their work, and be reminded also of their purity and nakedness, for there is no veil over a star. The Pythagoreans, ancient Greek philosophers, had a morning practice. Look at the stars. Why? To remember that the heavens operate perfectly, consistently, without complaint. The stars do their work. They don't ask for applause. They don't demand recognition. They just are. And they're pure, naked, no pretense, no veil. Just what they are. This is a model for how to live. Do your work consistently. Don't complicate it. Don't hide behind pretense. Be authentic. Be reliable. Be like the stars. In our world of constant performance, of curated images, of filtered reality, imagine being like a star. Just existing, doing your thing. No veil, no performance, just pure being. Section 12. Consider what kind of man Socrates was when he dressed himself in a skin after Xanthippe had taken his cloak and gone out. And what Socrates said to his friends who were ashamed of him and drew back when they saw him dressed thus. There, quote, as a story that Socrates' wife, Xanthippe, took his cloak and left. So Socrates wrapped himself in an animal skin and went about his business. His friends were embarrassed. They pulled away, not wanting to be associated with him looking ridiculous. And Socrates, he wasn't bothered. He didn't care about appearances. He cared about truth, about virtue, about philosophy. If Socrates, one of the wisest men who ever lived, could be seen in an animal skin and not lose his dignity, what are you afraid of? Are you so fragile that embarrassment can destroy you? Your dignity comes from within. It doesn't depend on how you look or what people think. It depends on your character. If you have that, you can't be humiliated. Section 13. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. Think about this paradox. We love ourselves. We care deeply about our own well-being, yet we value other people's opinions of us more than our own opinion of ourselves. We know ourselves better than anyone else does. We know our intentions, our struggles, our journey, but we'll let a stranger's comment ruin our day. We'll change who we are to fit what others expect. Why? Marcus is pointing out the absurdity. If you truly loved yourself, you'd trust your own judgment. You'd care more about being good than being seen as good. Value your own assessment. Live by your own standards. Be your own authority. Not in an arrogant way, you should still be humble and learn from others. But don't let their opinions override your own knowledge of who you are. Section 14. The gods have given you powers by which you can bear everything that happens without being degraded or crushed. Whatever happens to you, loss, pain, betrayal, failure, you have the capacity to handle it without being destroyed. The gods, or nature, or evolution, have given you reason. They've given you the ability to choose your response. They've given you resilience. Nothing external can degrade you. Only you can degrade yourself by choosing to think or act badly in response. You have everything you need already to face whatever comes. This isn't about being superhuman. It's about recognizing that you're stronger than you think, that you've survived every difficult day so far, that you have resources within you that you haven't even tapped yet. The universe wouldn't have made you if it didn't equip you to handle what it was going to throw at you. Section 15. That which does not make a man worse than he was also does not make his life worse, nor does it harm him either from without or from within. Here's a radical idea. If something doesn't make you less virtuous, it hasn't actually harmed you. Someone insults you. Does that make you less honest? Less kind? Less courageous? No. You lose money. Does that make you less virtuous? No. You get sick. Does that change your character? No. These things are uncomfortable. They're painful. But they're not harm in the deepest sense. True harm is becoming a worse person, becoming cruel, cowardly, dishonest, selfish. And that can only happen if you choose it. External events can't force you to become a bad person. We think of harm as losing things: money, status, health. Stoics define harm as losing virtue. By that standard, most of what we fear isn't actually harmful. It's just uncomfortable. Section 16. Time is like a river made up of the events which happen, and a violent stream. For as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away, and another comes in its place, and this will be carried away too. Time is a river. Events flow past like water. Something happens, good or bad. You notice it. You react to it. And immediately, it's gone, swept downstream, and something else comes. Nothing lasts. Every moment is replaced by the next moment. The embarrassing thing you did last week? Already in the past, flowing away. The success you achieved? Already fading. This is both humbling and freeing. Humbling because nothing you do will last forever. Your fame, your legacy, your achievements, all will eventually be forgotten. Freeing because the bad things don't last either. This pain, this problem, this crisis, it will pass. It's already passing. Don't cling to moments. They're like trying to hold water. Just experience them and let them go. Section 17. Of everything which exists, it is already undergoing dissolution and change. All things are already in a state of being torn apart and scattered, or are being born in order to be torn apart. Everything is dying. The moment something comes into existence, it begins falling apart. Your body is aging. Your possessions are deteriorating. Relationships evolve and end. Buildings crumble. Empires fall. This isn't pessimistic. It's just nature. It's the cycle. Things come together. Things fall apart. New things form from the pieces. So, don't be surprised when things end. Don't rage against impermanence. Expect change. Embrace it. Flow with it. Love what you have while you have it, knowing it won't last forever. That makes it more precious, not less. Section 18. Castaway opinion. And you are saved. Who then hinders you from casting it away? Your suffering comes from your opinions, your judgments, your interpretations. This is terrible. I can't handle this. This shouldn't be happening. These are opinions, not facts. The event itself is neutral. Your judgment about it creates your suffering. So, cast away the judgment. See the event as it is, without the story you're telling about it. and you are saved. Who's stopping you from doing this? No one. Only yourself. This is your superpower. The ability to strip away your interpretations and see reality as it is. Practice this, and you become unshakable. Conclusion. And so ends Book 2 of Meditations. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, surrounded by war and death, reminds himself of what matters. You will die. Act accordingly. Dawn. Quote 2. Waste time. Don't put off becoming who you should be. Don't let other people's opinions control you. Don't complain about your duties. Do each thing as if it were your last. Focus on the present moment. Remember that you're just a small part of a vast, flowing universe. Accept what comes. Do your work. Be kind. These aren't just ancient ideas. These are instructions for today. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. Will you waste this day, or will you live it fully? Will you complain about your circumstances, or accept them and do your best anyway? Will you seek validation from others, or trust your own judgment? Will you put off change, or recognize that time is running out? Marcus Aurelius died at age 58, possibly from plague, in a military camp. He didn't get all the time he wanted. None of us will. But he used the time he had to become one of the greatest philosophers and one of the most admired rulers in history. Not because he had perfect circumstances, not because life was easy, because he remembered he was mortal, and he lived accordingly. So let me ask you what Marcus asked himself every morning. What are you putting off? And why are you still putting it off? Your time is limited. Use it. Thank you for listening to Book 2 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. In Book 3, we'll explore wasted time, purpose, and how to live without distraction. If this resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to continue the series, and leave a comment. What have you been putting off that you need to start today? Until next time, remember, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. So let me ask you what Marcus asked himself every morning. What are you putting off? And why are you still putting it off? Your time is limited. Use it. Thank you for listening to Book 2 of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. In Book 3, we'll explore wasted time, purpose, and how to live without distraction. If this resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe to continue the series, and leave a comment. What have you been putting off that you need to start today? Until next time, remember, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think.